Hello again. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Bill Crawford. I'm a psychologist, a speaker, a life coach, corporate trainer. Had the pleasure of writing 4 books and doing 2 PBS specials. And this is another in a series of short videos I'm creating that are designed to help you bring more clarity, confidence, and creativity to everything you do. Today's video looks at the subject of stress. And it goes along with a quote that I'm sending out. For those of you who aren't aware, each week I send out one of my favorite quotes along with 2 or 3 paragraphs to apply how to apply that quote in our lives. If you would like to be on that list, if you're not already on the list, feel free to go to my website, billcrawfordphd.com, or just Google Bill Crawford, Ph.D., and you'll see a subscribe button at the top of the page. Hit that, it's free, and each week I will send you one of my favorite quotes along with 2 or 3 paragraphs about how to apply that quote in our lives. This week's quote says, "As long as we define stress as how something or someone is making us feel, we will have to change the world around us in order to find peace of mind." I like that because I think it speaks to the problem and the trap that a lot of us fall into when we define stress as what something or someone is doing to us. When we say traffic really stresses us out, or work really stresses us out, or that difficult person really made me angry. Whenever we define how we feel based on what something or someone else is doing to us, that only leaves us one option of going and changing that person or that situation in order to change how we feel. And if you notice, when you try to change a difficult person, they don't say, "Thank you for sharing, what a wonderful idea." What it does is actually makes us more stressed. When we can't change traffic or can't change the world around us, we feel more stressed, more frustrated, more angry, and it actually traps us in the lower 20% of the brain, producing chemicals that are designed to help us in a fight or flight situation. The main one is cortisol. And whenever we're in a fight or flight situation, whenever we need to react without thinking, we need to fight something, we need to run away from something, those chemicals are perfect. That lower brain is the perfect place to be coming from. But whenever we want to choose or influence our reaction, whenever we want to have a purposeful, deliberate reaction or way of dealing with life, we need to be coming from the upper 80% of the brain, the neocortex, what I call the top of the mind. Now, I do training on this. I create seminars and presentations on this. I've written a book called Life from the Top of the Mind. I've created a 10-disc audio series on how to do this. So I'm not suggesting it's just really easy. Don't worry, be happy. I do, however, want to give you at least one tool in this short video to help you at least realize the difference between what it's like coming from that upper 80% of the brain and what it's like coming from that lower 20% of the brain. So here's what I suggest we do. Begin to see stress for what it really is, a chemical change in our body produced by the lower 20% of the brain. If you've ever had to take any medication that had an effect on you, made you more anxious or maybe even more depressed, or you could tell it was the medication making you feel a certain way. See, there's less of a tendency when we know what's going on for us to blame something or someone outside ourselves. We go, "Oh yeah, that's what that medication does." So what I'm encouraging you to do is to recognize how seeing stress as what something or someone is doing to us throws us into that lower 20% of the brain, produces that anxiety, frustration, and again, in a fight or flight situation, it's perfect, but if we're not in a fight or flight situation, here's what I would encourage you to do. Imagine someone you love, your child, your little brother, your sister, your niece, your nephew, is coming to you and asking for your advice. They're feeling stressed, they're worried, they're frustrated. What would you encourage them to do? Or better yet, let's assume they were coming to you and taking notes, watching you deal with stress in this very purposeful way, and you wanted to do something that shows them how to deal with stress. They were taking notes on what you were doing, and you wanted to teach them through your own actions how to deal with stress. See, I bet what you would encourage them to do is to look at what you can control, begin to influence what part of the brain you're in. You would teach them not to try to change the world around them, but to have more internal influence. Again, it's easier said than done, but when we ask ourselves a question, what would I teach to someone I love? That's what I call a neocortex or top of the mind question. Often we'll come up with a very purposeful reaction answer from that, and if we can begin to go do that, whatever we would teach to someone we love, we're on the right track. I hope you found this valuable. I try to keep these videos short. I know we're all busy. If you want to deal with stress in a more purposeful way, in a way that you would teach to someone you love, I'm encouraging you to try some of the things we're talking about in these videos. Or go ahead and get the book. Go ahead and get the 10 series. Have me come and present this information to you and your colleagues at your organization. I promise you I will bring you a new perspective on dealing with life and bringing more clarity, confidence, and creativity to everything you do. Thanks, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.